Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to talk to you, and to try and do it in this format is also exciting. You don't have to watch these videos to really understand the gist of it. This just allows me to really express myself and express my heart and let you see and experience that in lieu of not being able to actually sit together in a classroom. But you're welcome to follow along with the outline that I've attached to the email with these links in it. Or you can just watch the video. But with that being said, let me jump straight in because there are going to be 4 of these videos, each one tackling a different part of the outline to try and make it easy and accessible for all of you. That being said, the first email, or the first part of the outline that I want to talk about is kind of the introduction. And this, what I mean by an introduction and why I labeled it Diving Deep, is because the way in which I think about ministry and the way in which I think about what our goal really is we have to kind of step back and understand, like, why are we doing this in the first place? Like, why have children's ministry? Why have Sunday school? Why have youth ministry? Why do any of that kind of stuff? And the reality is that that's a very good question, because for 1900 years of church history, there was no children's ministry or Sunday school. There might have been like a daycare, but there was never anything like what we have experienced in our lifetimes, as far as programming and intentionality and ministry specifically designed to reach out to kids. And so it's almost become kind of this assumption that, like, yes, of course a church is going to do that. But sometimes that comes with it the misunderstanding about what the purpose of it really is. Like, why really have it other than just like, oh yeah, of course, we want kids to have some fun place to go and something good to do. But really, the whole point of this first video and the first part of the outline and what I really want to share and talk about is children's ministry and youth ministry matters incredibly to the future of the faith, to our faith development, to our growth, and it matters a lot to God. Like, I don't know if you've ever read the Gospels and really paid attention to how Jesus treated kids. All throughout the Gospels, and this is what I talk about in the outline, but all throughout the Gospels, Jesus really puts an emphasis on the importance and the value and the uniqueness of children, and how they interact with God, how they experience a relationship with God, and how Jesus chooses to kind of use kids as a model for really being in a relationship with God. He holds them up and says, like, if one of you does not accept the kingdom of God like these little ones, that's it. Like, you gotta learn how to do that. And so lots of people argue and wonder about, like, what does that mean to enter the kingdom of God like a child, or to have faith like a child? And there are lots of ways we could take that, and that's maybe a subject for a whole nother video or a separate study, or maybe you just want to talk about it, and I would love to share with you some of that over coffee sometime. But the bottom line of this first video is that this matters to God. Kids, youth matter to God. The statistics are that I think it's 60% of all believers make the decision to follow Christ before the age of 13. And then when that decision is made at such a young age, it tends to stick. But there are lots of other statistics out there and trends and things happening in youth culture and the church that are kind of cause for alarm. Cause for us to think about the fact that we really need to be intentional about what we're trying to accomplish with youth ministry and children's ministry, with Sunday school, with all these things. And this is part of the reason why in this last year, I've tried to avoid changing too much too quickly, and I thank God for Melissa's words of wisdom and just our ability to talk those kinds of things through. But one of the small changes that we have made in this last year, in having like a missions project Sunday and a family ministry Sunday, and all these kinds of things, are all around the fact that kids and youth ministry matters. And what matters most about that is that we're inviting kids into this really live, dynamic relationship with God. And that's not always simple or straightforward. And that involves, influencing the way they think about service, all the, love, all these things. And so it's kind of coming from the conviction that it's not enough to just teach kids stories and teach them like truths about the Bible and expect that that's really going to shape their character, shape their, the way they view the world, the way they treat other people. Because anyone can acknowledge, any one of you would probably agree with me, that just because you know something in your head doesn't mean that it dictates your actions. Like, plenty of people know facts, but facts don't necessarily change opinion or behavior. That's all too real in our world today. But that's neither here nor there either. When we think about kids formation, and this is what the second video is going to be on, and so I'm going to wrap this one up. The formation of our kids requires that we think through all these different aspects of what makes a follower of Christ, what makes a mature believer, and all of that then has to influence what we do when we are with these kids, and also then how we reach out to and serve parents and give them the tools and the resources to also, to have these conversations with their kids. And so we're really inviting kids into the same journey that we are on, and so that also impacts the ways in which we approach and talk to them. Simply because it's not about just, all right, these things, all right, we're good, check those boxes and it's done. No, this is deep stuff that we're trying to do with the kids, and deep stuff that we're really trying to shape in them over the course of years. Like, as I think about my role and my responsibilities, I'm looking at the full spectrum of birth through 18 and beyond, and trying to think like, all right, what are the markers that we need to hit? Where are we going? Where's all this leading to? And that's the biggest challenge, but also the really exciting thing, and why I'm excited to share these videos with you, because I want all of you to have this, for all of us, to be on the same page, to understand what's at stake, where we're going, and why we're going there in kind of the strategy and the way that we are. But yeah, it's complex, it's challenging, it requires us to think and to work really hard. And so I deeply appreciate and value every one of you, and I'm so excited to share this information, because I believe that you all have so many gifts that can make our ministry that much stronger. So yeah, all in there.